A.
It's recording.
Hooray. So, all of our, every few episodes is going to start with Kay just like, it's recording. Like, every episode.
Yeah, once I get into a habit of saying one thing, it's going to stick, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
So, last time, you guys ventured to Iron Cove, where you meet, where you met Simon's weird redneck family.
His hillbilly family.
Yep. And from there, you went across to Dunderum, where you encountered a very strange town full of goblins. Gunther and Diana infiltrated the place and had a look around in the mayor's office, and then left there when their spells of illusion were about to fade, and met back with you guys at the tree line. And where did you guys go from there? I think, is that where we ended the session, or did you head back to Iron Cove after that?
We were on our way, I think.
We were on our way, yeah.
Okay.
We didn't actually get there, we were just...
Yeah.
And we were talking
so
about the goblins.
Yeah. By the time you get to Iron Cove, it will be quite late.
So I guess we are setting up camp here for tonight.
Up to you guys. If you want to set up camp on the way there or at Iron Cove or whatnot, up to you.
We probably don't want to keep Simone and Eris waiting.
Yeah, that would definitely be...
Yeah, probably want to get there
like,
first.
Please. Get me away from these people.
He's so mean.
Simone's like, help!
Also, we go to a town of goblins, and then Diana doesn't come back for hours.
He's like, oh god, help! I'm stuck with my redneck family, and my daughter possibly got maimed by goblins. What the fuck? We should just like pull up right, be like, Diana, just turn invisible for another hour. We'll just like.
She didn't make it.
Oh my
god!
We get like really sad. We start crying. We're like, we tried to stop them.
She fought the lich, and what did her in was goblins.
Oh my god! The day that Simone TPKs the party. And then Diana pops out of invisibility like, ta-da!
There's like a fucking like, the ground is littered with like dead bodies and body parts like strewn about. She's like, oh no.
A joke that went too far.
Yikes.
So, you guys return to Iron Cove, and it's getting pretty late at night, looking about 11 p.m., give or take. And you got the really cold nighttime breeze coming through from the ocean. And as you arrive, they have this large bonfire going, and Simone and Eris are kind of sitting together on a bench that they've fashioned out of the broken wood of the ship that they were hanging around in. And the two of them are kind of sitting on that, and all the others are sort of sitting in the sand, and they're cooking up just like this. Well, you can see that they have cooked up this, well, essentially a barbecue of dead things that they've caught and killed from the nearby woods or the sea. And Simon and Eris are just kind of like sitting there like close together and like more or less surrounded by everyone else. They're kind of like curiously sitting around them and like still keeping their distance from Simon and Eris. You can see that they're very isolated from the rest of them in a way, probably by Simon's will. But the rest of them are all sort of grouped together closely around the fire. And
Eris, like, go ahead.
Go on.
Sorry. I was just like gonna make a really funny comment. Like Eris, like you get there, like try to stand up, and Eris, like you just see Simone like slowly put a hand on her shoulder, just slowly stare back down, like no.
Yeah, that's essentially what's going on here. You guys return, and they're pretty happy to see you all again, especially Simone.
Oh god.
Who immediately is like he stands up and sort of like dusts off his hands and goes, so we should probably be on our way then. Is that the plan? And
I mean, we probably should just camp out here for tonight.
It's pretty late.
Oh, I don't know. I really don't want to impose. And you see the now chieftain Argrak stand up, and he in Draconic, so
Gunther doesn't understand.
Gunther doesn't get it. Everyone else gets it. But he's like, oh no, please, I insist. You all should stay, and we'll organize shelter for all of you around the others.
I lean into Gunther and I say, he says he doesn't like your hat.
How dare!
First of all, roll a deception check.
Do I roll insight against that?
Wait,
yes.
Can I actually get advantage since he doesn't understand? No, never mind. Doesn't matter. Dang
I'm still rolling my insight.
Yeah, good for knows. Nobody could call his hat, like, nobody could hate that hat. Like, let's be honest.
Gunther replies at that. My hat is
hat's
amazing.
incredible.
She was lying. She was lying. He actually said your mask is shit.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it.
Does Lazira actually say that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, let's catch a deception check from Lazira.
Fake
We'll match
confirms.
Oh boy.
Nailed it.
Did you really?
Nah, Gunther's fucking on one though. He's ready.
I'm
Full
amazing
of
and I
shit
know
today.
it.
Gunther's like, bitch, I'm fabulous.
Basically.
Yeah. So yeah, he insists that you all stay, and Eris just kind of like looks up at Simone, and you guys can see that she seems like genuinely happy and excited to stay here amongst them.
I'm sure you can tell that Simon is genuinely not.
Yeah, very much. They are polar opposites about this idea. Like, you kind of feel Simon shudder from here. Like, it's yeah, he's having a bad time. But yeah, you guys stay with them for the evening. They set up a shelter for all of you, sort of near the I suppose barracks where everyone else is staying. They kind of have an outdoor shelter that's kind of under a makeshift cover of the nearby foliage that they've repurposed. And they set one up for you guys as well in about the space of 20 minutes or so. They have about 6 of them working on it.
Excellent.
Very resourceful folks, these ones. Good at survival. Yeah, so you guys are here for the evening. Is there anything you'd like to do before you head to bed?
Is everyone else still sitting around?
Yeah, everyone's pretty much hanging out.
I'll probably join them.
Yeah, we could probably join them and everything.
Yeah, and I'm gonna play music.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Okay.
That's how we get a total TPK. Like, you play something that, like, it just offends everyone and they just gang up on us and just total TPK. Thanks, Gunther.
What are you,
Gunther always breaking his promise not to play music at night.
Yeah, but no one's sleeping.
Oh yeah, that was the whole point. Oh, you're right.
How's what important question, what are you going to play?
Oh no.
Okay, fine though.
I'm scared. I play Wonderwall. Play Fever!
No, like, I don't mean like what song, damn. I mean like what instrument are you going to play? Do you have your lute or?
I only have a lute.
Alright.
It's the only instrument I have.
Alright, as everyone gathers around and sits around the fire, as Diana sits near Simon and he kind of like pulls her close, like he's surrounded by his tieflings, like it just as some sort of like protective barrier against the surrounding stupid. Gunther, I'll get a performance check.
Excellent.
Oh god.
Amazing. Okay, so
Wow.
Well, Gunther is on top of it today.
oh, hang on. So
Wow.
he so Gunther begins playing his lute, and after the first few strums, you see a couple of the Dragonborn just kind of like lower their heads and press their palms against the sides of their head.
Oh no!
Oh no!
And some of them just kind of like recoil. A few of them like groan and like just like grunt in pain. And one of them, like the leader, Argrax, like sort of stands up and says, "What is that?"
In Draconic or in Common?
Oh, in Draconic, that's all he speaks.
Who's gonna be my interpreter here?
Gunther, you probably should stop right now.
Okay, I'll put it away.
All right. Yeah, you can clearly see that they did not enjoy this. Yeah, so you stop and put it away, and they all just kind of relax a bit. And he looks at Simon, who is totally unfazed. Like Simon's like, yeah, you know, it's music, whatever. And Argrax is just like, is this the music from the city you are from? And he just kind of like, I mean, yeah, like it's music. And Argrax just kind of like kicks sand at the fire and just like bah, and just he walks off toward the ship that you guys saw earlier and starts reading through some of the things they have there, and he brings out these armfuls of these drums, which he just sort of tosses to the different tribal members that are sitting around. They all catch these little drums. They're almost the size of like bongo drums. And they sit around the fire and begin like just like hammering away at these drums. And you can tell that the like deep bassy percussive sort of thing is more their deal when it comes to what they know of music, as opposed to string and woodwind sort of instruments. And they play you one of their songs, like this deep bassy sort of rhythm, but it becomes, as they start singing, a couple of them start singing, and Argrax is singing as well. This is all in Draconic, but it becomes sort of a ballad as the others sort of like quiet down and become background sound as Argrax is singing to the other Dragonborn lady that's there. And yeah, at the end they have this big embrace, and the rest of the tribe sort of clap, and those that have drums drum really hard and in like a sort of applauding way.
How's Simone reacting to this?
He's smiling. He's
Aww.
yeah, it's a nice little, and Eris is kind of hugging him nice and close. But yeah, it's a nice sweet little thing.
That was adorable.
Yeah.
So Gunther and no one
Gunther.
understands.
Like just
This
really
weird,
confused.
in this
Like, that's
weird tongue that he
adorable.
speaks.
What is he saying?
Like everyone looks at him like he fucking like said something like a swear.
Because they're not used to, because you guys aren't used to hearing like Gunther say like, "Oh, that's so cute" and stuff. Like you hear him say that, everyone looks at him like, "What the fuck?" And then the rest of the Dragonborn are like, "Was that offensive?" Like, is he starting to fight? Like, what's
No, but he'll steal your blankets. Can
They don't have blankets.
I was going
You
to
can
say
if you
one
want.
blanket.
Yeah, they don't have blankets.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Probably
I
don't
do.
need them.
Yeah, no, they don't need any kind of like they're red Dragonborn. Like they're just warm.
I was gonna say we could give them a present, give them some jerky, but then I realized what it is.
Oh
No.
I'm not trying to
Like,
get
this
us
is all
killed
like-
here.
Watch Gunther just pull it. I was like, guys, I have a little gift for you, and like everyone's like, no.
Nick immediately makes all of our alignments chaotic evil.
Oh, it's Rabbit, I swear. Like,
Oh god.
What's his name again? I forget the.
the tribal guy? Argrax.
Rax. Right. So I turned to him and I to ask, what was Simone like when he was young?
The chieftain sort of like peers around the raging fire at like Simon. He can see you clearly, but he kind of like has to lean to see Simon, who just like awkwardly like gives a toothy smile and just like, please don't shame me. Like in you can feel that behind his smile. He sits upright and he says, well, Simon was a mighty warrior in our little tribe. He was he was being groomed to be the leader of our forces we have here. However, he decided that this life was not for him and took his leave. So I picked up the reins and sort of took his job. But he was always chivalrous. A warrior.
Interesting. I mean, I don't think all that much has changed. He does. Same old.
He kind of like flexes his muscles, and Eris kind of applauds. By the way, roll an insight check, whoever's interested. Alright, you guys can, like, those of you that are sitting around the fire that can see Eris clearly, Lazira, your view's kind of obstructed by the flames of the big bonfire, but the rest of you can see Eris. You can see that she's having the time of her fucking life right now. And like she's surrounded by like fucking 20 Simons, and she's just like, oh yes. She's
like,
having
if
a
I was
blast.
single, she's like, if I was single, this would be my dream right now.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's kind of what she's going through right now. She has sparkles in her eyes. She's very happy. Yes, so a few of the tribal folks begin sort of packing up and taking their leave and bowing their heads respectfully toward the fire and heading toward their bedding for the night.
I want to ask one last thing to this guy before everyone starts leaving.
Yeah.
Last session, something was mentioned about how now that he's chief, he can like continue the family line or something.
Mm-hmm.
Along those lines. What does that mean? Like, was he not? Why couldn't they just have kids before? Like,
he explains. Well, it's part of our tradition. You see, we the chieftain and his bride are the only two that are allowed to carry on the next generation of offspring. When Dragonborn have eggs, we have a decent-sized nest of 6 to 8 offspring per lay, and well, it is decided amongst the tribe which of us is the most fit to lead, and as such most fit to produce the next generation of leaders. So this was quite a big deal for my partner and I, and he kind of holds a tight beside him.
Sarah has the most confused look on her face.
Oh my god!
What?
We all know what this implies.
Both Gunther and Lasar are just like, what? For both very different reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can someone
Yeah.
translate to Gunther?
There's no need.
I think
really.
we should keep it in the dark.
Yeah, no, keep me in the dark if you want.
No, I'm kidding. Someone can translate.
No, I mean do it. Don't
Just
do
like,
it.
no, please. Please don't tell me.
There's no need.
We won't tell you then.
But yeah, he explains that's kind of their tradition is like the chieftain and the chieftain's chosen partner are the two that procreate the next generation of offspring. That's why being chosen to be the chieftain is kind of like a big deal to them. And yeah, so now that's kind of given them permission to have the kids that they wanted to have.
So Lasira says, "What a boring life in common."
Shush.
I mean, they don't understand.
No, they don't understand.
That's
Gunther does. That's the first thing Gunther's understood for like 20, 30 minutes.
Excuse me, what's boring?
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. It's just boring.
So you guys would be
Yes.
having family soon then?
Yeah, that's the idea.
Awesome. I would love to meet the babies when they hatch.
Oh, I'm sure that you will. As soon as that happens, I'm expecting to see Simon back here frequently to see them. He's always been big on the kiddos. And then you see Eris's face light the fuck up.
oh my god.
And she looks at him with this big smile across her face. She's like, "We'll be coming back," and he's like, "No, don't listen to them."
Oh my god.
No, I want to meet the babies. I've never seen baby dragonborn.
Yeah, he says, "Well, come back in about 6 months, and we'll see." But yes, that is the plan. Now that we have this all sorted out, we can continue our family line and have our next generation of offspring, and it is good times ahead. And
Sure, they are. I mean, he's the only one getting laid in like the entire.
oh no, there are other female dragonborn in amongst these other tribals. It's not just the one. She
I was
is
gonna
dressed
say-
differently, as she is kind of like the sort of first lady of the tribe, I guess, in a way. But the rest of them are dressed in their sort of loincloth and I guess boob tube kind of thing they have going on. But yeah, there are other female dragonborn, and presumably they are with other dragonborn in the tribe, but they can choose whether or not to procreate.
Right, that's just like the one thing they're just not allowed to like produce babies. But they
Yeah.
can do, they do. Okay.
They can decide whether or not to lay eggs together or not. You know, it's kind of a
Lasara
a
would
thing
be
that they have
happy
that they're able to
learn
do.
that, but I don't think that's being brought up because that would be awkward.
She would go from confused to envious like immediately.
You're like, oh,
immediately.
oh,
You can just choose to not be pregnant? Fuck.
yeah.
You can do that on and off? What the fuck?
Yeah. Like kangaroos, dude. It's crazy.
Oh my god.
If they were
Did you
all
just compare
jealous, yeah.
dragonborns to kangaroos?
I mean, yeah,
Yes.
anyway. Kangaroos can do that. They can just decide to, like, oh, I don't want to be pregnant right now, and they can just hold it off until later. Like,
What the
Oh
fuck?
my god.
do.
Nature is weird.
God, I wish that were me.
I know, right?
Like any female ever would love that. Like, I don't want to be pregnant. It's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
you don't have to be
Let's
pregnant.
Yeah,
let's
it's
just
just
not
like
be
a-
pregnant right now.
Conditions aren't great. Conditions will be a lot better in about, like, 8 months. So let's just do it then. So they just, like, hang on to that, like, egg for 8 months, and then all of a sudden, like, pop, pregnant. Like, it's just, they just wait for an opportune time. It's great. So, some of the others sort of hustle off to bed, and get their sleep. And Simon and Eris are immediately like, just Simon just stands up and says, "Well, we should retire for the night. Come on," and just like grabs her by the hand and drags her off.
Oh my
she
God.
sheepishly follows him. Yeah, so what are you guys going to do? Are you going to head to bed, or are you staying up? A couple of the others are staying up. Argrax and his partner, and a few of the other tribe that you presume are staying up just to be like the night sort of watch.
Well,
But
it would be
yeah,
good to sleep if it's that late.
yeah. It's probably a bit after midnight now.
Yeah, Gunther would go to bed.
Alrighty. So Gunther retires and heads to Sleepy Time Junction. What is everyone else going to do?
I'm gonna follow suit, I think.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I think Lasara's going to do the same.
Yeah,
Alright.
same.
Everyone's just like,
All right.
off to bed.
Yep.
Well, I was just waiting to see what everyone else is doing because I was like, I don't want to get up to bed if everyone else like, yeah, let's just like have a party. I'm like, oh man, I missed it.
We go to bed and everyone brings out the booze and is like, damn it!
Like, like, oh, face finally asleep. Let's pull out the fucking peppermint schnapps.
Gunther goes to bed.
Faye goes
Everyone's
to bed, wakes up, and Lazara's just like, I told all of the female Dragonborn about lesbianism last night. And like, Faye's just like, no!
Gunther goes to bed. Everyone starts
Finally,
counting
that's-
their money.
Finally, that square went to bed.
let's all get
Why are you
wild.
so mean?
Alright, so
Everyone
Everybody
waits
heads
till
to bed.
Gunther's in bed before they take out their blankets.
the rest of the Dragonborn in the tribe don't have any blankets. They just get into their little. Oh, they've set up hammocks for you to sleep in, by the way.
Neato.
Out of a mixture of like vines and long grass, leaves, fish nets from the shipwrecks, and that sort of thing. Like wherever they could gather together to form these hammocks. And they built them for everybody to sleep in.
Oh, that's nice.
So everyone's got these
Aw.
comfy little hammocks that they get to snooze in.
I bet Gunther's all like, ew, I'll just sleep on the ground.
Nah, Gunther will be nice and sleep in it after casting Prestidigitation on it.
Oh my god.
Clean it off a bit.
Just- I want this clean first.
And then he'll sleep in it.
Hold on. One sec.
Did you find something you want to send me? Well, send us. Oh no.
No, I had to blow my nose. I didn't want you guys to hear.
Oh yeah, no, I did the same thing
Well,
with my mic
the,
usually.
Yeah, everyone else gets a decent sleep or meditation, whatever it is that you do.
Whatever you elves do.
your whatever it is that your respective characters do. Gunther has a pleasant sleep, rocked back and forth by the breeze in his comfy, clean hammock. The rest of you occasionally have like a small crab skitter over your leg, or you know,
Oh my god.
at least what you hope is a crab and not a large spider, and you know that sort of thing. And you know you'll roll over and like get a cheek like covered in seaweed, that sort of thing. But you know,
Oh my god.
it's not the most pleasant and clean sleep, but it's a sleep. You know. You get
All
the full
that
night's
because
rest.
Gunther actually cleaned his hammock.
Oh my god.
So Gunther wakes up feeling refreshed and ready to go. The rest of you wake up, and you find Simon and Eris in the morning. They're sort of chatting with Argrax and the other female dragonborn that is kind of always shadowing him, it seems. Yeah, and when they spot you, they wave you over. At this point, I assume that everyone's sort of collected their gear and is
Yeah.
ready to go. Simon says, "Oh, I was just saying our goodbyes and getting ready to leave." And he shakes the hand of the other dragonborn there, his brother. Probably the most mighty handshake the rest of you have ever seen in your life. Like these two massive muscle-bound dragon guys with this
Is it
big,
on-
meaty handshake.
Is it on par
Is it
with
like-
the handshake between Sig and Armstrong?
Yes,
Please.
it's very similar.
Excellent.
There's sparkles and muscles and all kinds of stuff.
Amazing. I love this.
Eris is overjoyed.
The most Bara handshake ever.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is. And then you guys get ready to head off. Is there anything else you want to do here before you move along to whatever you're doing next?
I don't think so. I'll just Diana will say goodbyes as well and be like, so we'll be back for those babies.
Diana just wants to come for the babies. Like she's like, I'm not gonna come see you. I want to see the babies specifically. Just
Well, yeah,
the
because
babies.
she has never seen a baby dragonborn. She wants to know.
Oh my
let's see what it
gosh.
used to look like.
By the way, just so you know, baby dragonborns are fucking adorable.
Oh yeah, yeah. Press show us like a picture of it. They're
They
like,
look like
Yeah.
they look like little crocodiles.
Little
Yeah.
tiny lizards.
Yeah, they are very curious little creatures. They're little sweeties.
I love them. What about you guys?
no, not that I know of.
Yeah,
You like stuff to do here?
yeah.
Yeah,
What
no,
you
I
wanna do
don't have
before
I
you-
don't have anything in mind.
Well, we
Okay.
should go then.
So you,
As we're leaving, Lazara says, "Now don't have too much fun, you two."
Oh my god.
in Draconic or
Yeah, in Draconic.
Can you imagine she said that in common and they just looked really offended?
Really confused.
Jesus.
they smile and wave, and Argrax says, "No promises."
He's ready.
Simon
As
shudders.
soon as we left, they just start going at it.
Oh, finally, they're gone.
Simon
But they
shudders,
never leave.
and as you guys are walking back to your mount, Simon shudders, and Eris is smiling glowingly. So, you make it back to your horses and lizard, and because Simon had to be different, and mount
He had
up
to
and
be
get ready to
extra.
go. And Simon goes, "So, where are we headed?"
Well, I look to Eris to if we should mention the little plan that we got going on. Kind of give her a look.
Which little plan?
The going up to the
little
monastery.
vacation.
Yeah,
Oh,
up to the monastery.
Yeah, absolutely. Is that where you guys want to head next?
I'm up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, from here, you could probably make a stop either at the abandoned fortress for the night, or if you trek later into the evening, you can get to Shala-Tor, to the northwest. If that's the way you wish to head.
Yeah, we could go that way.
Yeah, I have no objection. And
It just really depends on if we want to keep going all the way, or if we want to stop at the abandoned fortress. We can loot it. We can double check and see if there's anything we missed.
yeah,
I am actually kind of curious, like
I've
what
been
kind of
wondering
state the
too.
place is in now, like after all that happened.
Yeah, I was actually
Mhm.
wondering that too, so it'd be a good place
Yeah,
to
we can
go.
stop there.
All right.
Yeah, let's camp out there.
So you guys
And
trek
that's, we're on
toward
the same
the.
page.
You all trek toward the abandoned fortress. When you get there, kind of closer to late afternoon, early evening. By the time you arrive, not exactly in like a rush and hurry, but when you get there, you can see a few scraps of armor from the knights that were sent down from Vaskir, and a couple of bits of gear from the cultists and that sort of stuff. You can see toward the south of the abandoned fortress is a kind of a grave site that they laid out for many of the cultists that died. They just kind of buried them in kind of rows.
What about the people in Vaskir? Oh, I'm assuming they took their bodies back over
Yeah,
there.
they would have.
Okay.
Correct. They brought them back there and had their own
Okay. Because
ceremony there.
I was gonna say that's kind of shitty that they made graves for cultists, but not for the freaking soldiers that lost their lives.
Yeah, it's like leave the soldiers out in the battlefield, like fuck them.
These cultists were the real victims.
I stand with Beck now.
We're all fucking chaotic evil now. What happened? Something happened like last session where we all just turned.
When you met the rednecks that did it. So, you guys, as you explore the abandoned fortress here, you come upon, as you're sort of getting a better look at the ruins. I'll get an investigation check from those who are curious about the ruins themselves.
Finally, I roll something good. Oh,
Nailed it.
Oh, which is fucking everyone, apparently. Okay. So, everyone, as you're looking around the ruins, you find a couple of engravings that had been kind of overgrown with moss and plant life in and amongst the walls of the place there. And you can see a symbol, an emblem, which is a shield with like a star in the center of it, like a 4-pointed star. And you know this to be the sort of guild seal, or the emblem of the sigil shield guild that you see around, made up of like fighters and paladins and the like. Yeah.
What does it say? Or is it just like the...
There are engravings of the imagery of that symbol. There are... you can see kind of like their 3-worded code that they follow that's protect, guard, sacrifice. That's kind of their thing of like putting themselves in danger before others, and if necessary laying their life down to protect the rest of the people in the world. It's kind of like their credo that they go by.
Hmm.
And you can see engravings in the wall of a lot of it is ruined and broken down and collapsed and fallen apart, but engravings of imagery of these knights and heavily armored folks that are, well, they're sort of gathered in various places, and it seems they have they used to have these meetings or something of the like, kind of like King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, like these sort of champions of the old guild back when it was an old guild.
Wow.
Would meet up and sort of discuss their do-gooding that they've been doing around the continent. But yeah, this ruin is very, very old. This is all carved into like the collapsing stonework of the walls and stuff. But you also see stories of some of the old champions here, and a lot of it is written in such a way to sort of teach a moral or a lesson about, why their guild is necessary and their code and all that is so important to them. But yeah, that's pretty much the kind of stuff you find on the walls. As for loot and stuff like that, there isn't really anything around the ruin that wasn't already looted by either you or probably Dildreneth.
Yeah, I thought so.
All of it.
I was
Yeah, he
wondering if there
grabbed
was any
whatever
like,
the fuck he could.
I was wondering if there was any like piece of equipment that looks somewhat okay that could just be like maybe restored at the blacksmith or something.
Good there.
A couple of the things that were out in the field, like the vast gear, soldier gear, and a couple of maybe the daggers from the cultists and that sort of thing, could be taken to be refurbished in a way. A couple of those are reparable. Yep. All right. So
Those
you
might
get
actually be more valuable if you sold into a museum as like weapons, like leftover weapons from like the Vecna thing that happened. No?
Don't really
If
know.
they were to believe you anyway.
Yeah, that's the thing. And also, I don't think everyone is aware of what's going on here. Of what happened.
Some people are. I mean, we just had that situation with Lysira's horse.
Yeah, like they gave us almost a free horse, a very cheap horse, a horse that pretty much cost.
Off the horse.
Yeah,
almost a free horse.
I feel like it would depend on where you go, because I mean, Passage,
Yeah.
they would have known just because all the cultists just left.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Yeah, true.
All
They were
right,
kind of
I
like filling the streets, and one day they just stopped.
I
You're
might,
like, oh, thank God.
I might keep some for the museum in Passage at least then, since they might be the more interested party for that.
Also would probably be a good idea to consider Vaskir.
Yeah.
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 They probably would,
Like a
those.
few people lost their lives and all that, So you can manage to find, of the parts that are usable for such a thing, you find a couple of broken swords where you have like the hilt and some of the blade. You find about half a shield that was broken in half at some point somehow. You find a full shield, like a kite shield sort of thing, with the Vaskir sort of symbol upon it. And you find a couple of other long swords and the like common sort of gear for their soldiers there.
Okay, I'm actually writing that down really quick because I'm gonna add everything. So after the kite shield, what was it?
It is a kite shield with the Vaskir symbol upon it.
Yeah, and after that was a long sword.
You find probably about 3 long swords, and 1 or 2 that are broken and irreparable.
All right. Wrote it down. 2 broken long swords, 3 long swords, 1 kite shield with the Vascar emblem, and a half shield.
Yeah.
It's half a shield.
The half shield, it kind of has like, well, it's been broken, like a top sort of third of it has been broken off. You imagine that this could have happened from just the way that it might have been planted into the ground as a warrior sort of fell upon it, and like his heavy armor might have broken it. But that would take a lot of force for something like that to happen. So whoever broke the shield, fucking.
Maybe that's the one that like broke Clovis' nose.
Oh my god!
I mean, it could be possible.
Can we roll insight? I'm kidding.
Is there a face imprint?
You see Clovis's face in the shield. It's like,
you just show, hey, look, I found your face.
There is not a face implant on the shield. No, there is. It is kind of broken, but no, yeah. It does have some of the symbol of Vaskia upon it. Like the rest of it is broken and gone somewhere.
Okay,
yeah.
So then I probably
the rest of the shield was probably pinched by Dildreneth.
Honestly,
I'm picking up his scraps.
Honestly,
oh, this is more broken. Oh, nice. Battle damage, and just kind of took it.
You'll have to fight him for it if you want it.
Yeah.
The way I might go about it is just donate the broken ones to the museum and the good ones to, well, just give them back to like.
Yeah, I mean the broken ones are probably more believable.
For a museum, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Authentic battle damage is like, oh, that's the good shit for them.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I will say, just like out loud, like it's so weird being here after everything that went down.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
The
just like awkward silence.
Yeah.
Way
the
to
stairway.
Ruin the mood, Die.
The stairway that you guys had revealed is still open, and sort of traversing down there into that dark little dungeon down there. Everything is as it was left. The interior here that was well, it was very clearly repurposed and redesigned for the cult. It didn't always look the way that it did, but yeah, it's all still there.
Anyone wants to check for loots in case we missed anything?
I mean, we checked pretty thoroughly,
I mean,
but we can
Yeah,
double
you guys did check down there already. Like when you
I remember
defeated Vecna, you were
It wasn't
immediately
like
just
someone
"Dude."
like in the past few days was like, "Aha! I'm gonna hide my chest full of 500 gold in here."
I think Gundra
No
might have a
water
problem
findings.
with looting.
It's not a problem. It's only a problem when there isn't any.
Oh my god.
It's not a problem if they're dead.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. That's kind of how looting works, yeah.
I kind of feel
Otherwise,
like,
it's
no,
just
seriously,
fucking-
this is the session where we're all fucking chaotic evil, isn't
I was
it?
gonna say, like, that is what looting is. Otherwise, it's just fucking burglary. Like, fucking rogues, dude.
Jesus.
It's funny because I'm a rogue, but I don't steal from alive people, just from dead people.
What you are is a grave robber, sir. So,
I mean, you're not wrong.
yeah, so you guys camp out here for the night. And you have Eris finds like one of the stone platforms that she then dusts off to make clean and tries to lie on that.
That
And
should
then,
be
like,
really uncomfortable.
That's yeah, it's like she tries lying on it and tries shifting over, and then she's like, and moves over to some like the grassy area and lays out a bedroll there, and lays in it there where it's nice and soft.
Oh my god. I bet she like is extra and she has like this really fancy nightgown and shit like that. Like things that you should not be wearing when you're like
Oh, absolutely,
camping out.
100%.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Eris she doesn't just like get changed, she uses magic. So like she'll snap her fingers, and much like the effect of prestidigitation where it washes over, her clothes just like morph into whatever other clothes she wants as she snaps her fingers.
Lazara's just like, I need this.
Can you repeat
I need
that?
this for things.
You don't realize, like, I could just like change into like the world's like sexiest dress in just a snap of a finger. You don't understand.
It's incredibly useful. You get the sense Eris has used it for that many times. So she's trying to get some rest. Simon is over by the horses and Lizard, and he's just kind of like feeding his big guard Drake and giving him a pat.
What does it eat?
I actually kind of
Meat.
want to approach it and like just like ask Simone if I can like does he bite or can I pet it?
Yeah, you can see like Simon like is holding like this kind of like a steak in a way, just like some cut of meat, like raw meat that he's taken from like a satchel. And as he's like sort of petting it, he's petting it kind of rough, like he's giving it a good
Oh god.
sort of smack like on its back, just because like it's just armor plating, like it's not really something you can pet like a dog, like in soft gentle strokes. It won't feel any of that. So he's giving it a good wallop, and he's just sort of holding a steak out and letting it take it and chew it up. It is a lot like a puppy in the way that it kind of eats and plays with its food and that kind of stuff. And you ask him if it'll bite, and he says, "Oh yeah, absolutely."
Dang it.
Especially when he's eating. Like I've nearly lost a hand or two.
Dang it. She like pouts a bit like, okay, whatever, fine.
You can pat him here, and he sort of steps away from the side and continues sort of like giving it a good pat. And he kind of shows you like the places where it's okay to pat his guard Drake. And I'll get you to roll an animal handling check.
Watch me lose an arm, guys.
Oh, Lacey, don't joke about it. It's dangerous.
So close.
We don't want
That would
our...
be something if a fucking ranger.
Yeah, like if our ranger...
How are you going to learn to use a bow and arrow with one fucking arm? Like,
Just use your mouth.
I'm gonna use my feet.
I mean,
she's
you're
gonna
gonna
learn
look-
how to use her feet.
Amazing.
Just to sit down on the floor so she can.
Hold on. No, I'll have to find the video of it.
please no. So you pet the guard Drake in the way that Simon shows you, and following his instructions, it seems pretty chill. It's got a very rough exterior body, like lots of armor plating and scales, but you get the sense that it's happy that you're doing it.
Oh. Does it have a name?
Sort of.
That's what sort of. Like what either it does or it doesn't.
He says it's not an easy one to pronounce.
Try me.
Yeah.
Okay. he sort of looks over his shoulder, and Eris is sort of sleeping in her bed, and he goes, she likes to just call him Scales because she can't pronounce it. Cornidox is his name.
Cornidox?
Cornidox.
That's not Cornidox.
Yeah.
That's not too bad. Like, you gotta understand, I'm like elf. Like, she's an elven girl. Like, they have weird fucking names.
That is true.
Yeah, we got like the weirdest
Yeah.
names. But yeah, I just say that's a lovely name. What like have you always had this one, or is this like, recent? Because we obviously haven't seen you ride him before.
Oh no, I've had him for a good while. I just make sure that I keep him safe and out of the way because he doesn't play well with others.
Yeah, we kind of saw that with Eris's horse.
Yeah, you can see the other horses are standing like you guys have got these mounts set up sort of at the entrance to the ruin, and like this is on one side and all the horses are way over on the other side, and like you can see where they've been tied to like the same sort of posts, but the horses are like pulled way the fuck back as far as they can go.
You can't
Away
sing
from-
with us.
Yeah. They're just kind of all standing over there like cautiously eyeing him.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah.
Why don't you talk to it?
Hmm?
Why don't you talk to it? That would.
Oh, that's right. I can use talk. Wait, does it work with like speak with animals? Would I be able to use it on this?
I'm sure, why not?
Okay, I'm not going to use it right now because I obviously don't have any questions to ask it right now. Because
I was just really curious what kind of things it might say. But yeah, just
that's
if
a
you-
good. Yeah, I'll definitely do it. But I'm just like, I don't want to use it right now because like, what do you want to ask it?
yeah, just think about
Do
it.
you like jazz?
Like jazz.
But I mean, like, we're gonna be traveling with them, so I definitely am gonna do it at some point. I have to just, yeah. But yeah. But then I'll like ask Simone, like, where do you get something like this? I mean, I've never really seen anything like this before. I mean, have I heard of these before prior to it, or no?
Probably. You might have heard of them, but like they're extremely rare. Like these are the
Yeah.
kind of mounts that you would find in. Oh geez, where would you find these? A guard drake is the sort of thing that you would find in like a lair of kobolds. Maybe a head kobold would sort of possess, or like maybe dragons or that sort of thing would have guard drakes as sort of little minion companions.
Interesting. But yeah, just ask him like where he like got it, because obviously you don't just buy this at a pet store, or you don't just buy this like anywhere.
Yeah, he says, well, it was no easy task, I can tell you that. I tamed this one on my own. It was exceedingly difficult. He's still learning, but he has a couple of tricks. It was very tricky to befriend him initially, but we got there in the end.
Well,
He
that's
gives him
good.
a good pat on the rump.
I'm not going to attempt that because I don't want to lose an arm. I'm just going to keep petting
Yeah.
it where Simone told me
Yeah.
to pet it.
Yep, exactly. Right there on the back of the shoulder, like, this is a safe place. This is okay. This is where I'm at right now.
It's probably not even responding to like anything I'm petting, is it?
I mean,
It's just all like whatever.
yeah, it probably can't even feel it, to be honest. Like,
Aw.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of cool to touch
Yeah.
it.
It's like touching a big lizard.
Is everyone still awake?
I didn't say I was sleeping yet, so I am.
Okay, well,
I think
I'm
Eris
gonna.
is the only one that has.
Okay, because no, I was just gonna.
That's what
But I
she
was gonna
said.
say, like, I'm thinking, like, once Faye's like done talking to Simone, she's gonna like go back to the others and be like, guys, I got kind of like a really cool dragon thing. It was awesome.
Good.
But yeah.
So you return to the others. Everyone's still kind of awake and putting their gear away and get ready for bed. But
I pet a really cool lizard, guys. Like her eyes are just like sparkling. She's like really excited that she got to pet this giant lizard.
Good.
you from like the back of the ruins, you hear Eros say, "Same."
Faye just like slowly side eyes her.
I'm sure that doesn't mean what I'm thinking.
I'm sure it does.
Not what I meant, Eris.
Oh, okay. She kind of goes back to sleep.
Boring.
Eris requires at least 8 hours a night.
Oh my god.
Beauty sleep
yeah.
and all that.
Yep, very important.
So...
Won't catch her tired. So, you guys pack up for the night. Is anyone keeping watch?
I set up the boot camp.
Okay.
I want to use it this time. I will
properly.
Yes, I will do it properly.
Correctly. Awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so I set it up somewhere so that it's like pretty much the whole group is in the radius. It's 30 feet radius, right?
Uh-huh.
And I just say soul searching.
Yep.
That's what I need
Say.
to do.
So you
I just
you
did.
set it up and you feel this field kind of open up around the area. And you see the boot fill with stew.
Stew.
Say, guys, do you want to sit around the boot and tell stories or something?
Wait, what? Can you repeat that?
Do you want to sit around the boot and tell stories or something?
We're gonna tell scary stories.
Ooh, I'll tell a scary story.
Ooh.
Says Diana.
I want to hear them. I love scary stories.
It's time to eat boots too.
Yeah.
In that case, Diana will tell you a spooky story.
Yeah. We all have, like, all of a sudden, like, everyone's like fucking 15 now. Faye just like was like, I just pet a cool lizard, and then we're sitting around like a boot telling scary stories. Anyways, go ahead.
You guys set up a little campfire in the center of the camp, near the boot.
The boot does the same as radiates heat, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're telling scary stories. You need a fire.
That's true. Mine's gonna be double warm.
And we just set the boot on fire.
Don't.
No, don't set the boot on fire. I paid 120 gold for this.
It's an expensive boot, man.
I love that he remembers exactly what he paid for something.
It is 120 gold. I remember.
He's noted it down.
Kay's like, did I stutter? It was 120 gold.
What was
I think I would remember
a single
120
leather
gold
boot, 120 gold pieces. He's like, excuse me? This old fucked up boot.
Did I even
Like,
write
what
the
the
price for it?
But yes, you.
I think it was 120 gold.
Oh my god. Let's
Okay. It's around that. That sounds about right.
All right. Anyways, continue.
Anyway, you guys set up this campfire and get ready to tell some spooky stories. Diana, what spooky story do you tell?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just going to like ask you if I can roll something to tell them like a spooky story. I don't
she just,
actually
like-
have a spooky story.
Okay. Let's see. Roll an intimidation check. Okay.
She's
I'm
gonna
getting everyone else to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no! I'm fine.
Ooh.
It wasn't that scary. Good, there's a little shook of though.
Alright,
So is
so
the Syra.
Faye, you pretty easily tell, like, this isn't a true story. This is just made up. it starts off as like, oh, this is a real thing that actually happened in these very ruins, and blah 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 blah, and a story of these campers that stayed there for the night, and they were haunted by these sounds, and then this big incredible beast popped out and frightened the hell out of them. Yeah, Faye, you're like, bullshit, she doesn't know about these ruins. This is a lie. But Lazira and Gunther are like, but what if though? So,
Oh my god.
you guys are quite spooked for the night. But Gunther, you know that you have your boot camp all set up with its safe radius.
Yep.
As everyone munches down on their tasty beef stew.
The boots
From the boot. Yep, boot stew. You know that you have that radius set up, but part of you is still like,
What if?
but what if it's already inside? You know, like it's. What if it's already here?
The call was coming from inside the boot camp.
Honestly, if I don't see it, I would definitely just cast Fairy Fire to see if I can see it.
Oh my god.
I want to point out that Diana likes to be really extra with her spooky stories. She likes to use,
Oh, absolutely.
like, her
Oh my
tieflings.
god.
Yeah, her tieflings
Yeah.
to, like, do special effects and like boom her voice and stuff.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
really good at this.
She's really good at this shit. Like, she was like using her thaumaturgy to like boom her voice at the opportune moments, like right at the climax of the story, and use her
Oh my
thaumaturgy to
God.
like boost the campfire up into this giant flame.
She
to
boosted
scare the shit
base.
out of everyone. Yeah. She just turned it up to 11, just like, bah! Spook. And, I mean, it worked. Like, Faye, you had a couple of jump scares out of it, but, like, you know better. The other two, however, they're just like, oh,
Oh
that
my
was actually
god.
pretty spooky.
Looking around like, oh no.
It's a half elf
like,
thing.
you hear the...
I was gonna say the same.
You'll
Probably
hear,
half
like,
us
the,
understand.
yeah, you'll hear the, like, the occasional, like, twig or branch fall from a nearby tree and, like, land in the leaf-covered foliage below, and it kind of makes you jump. Like, oh god, what? What is it?
Do they have a hard time sleeping tonight?
Yeah.
Is this revenge?
Actually,
I'll-
once Di's done with her story, Lazara's gonna try to get back with her own.
Oh, okay. I'll have Lazira roll an intimidation check and everyone else roll a wisdom saving throw.
Oh
including
goodness.
Diana.
Nailed it.
Never mind.
Damn.
No amount of
No,
rolls is gonna save us from
Okay.
this.
Oh!
This is okay. Okay. So Lazira starts saying, you know, there's more to the story about Captain Ivan than what I've already told you.
Oh my god.
And then
Did you suck his dick?
and then and then in this dead serious voice, she tells them that it's said that whoever successfully kills Captain Ivan is cursed to wander the desert forever.
Good luck, Di.
Good luck, Di.
She did land the last hit.
We all killed him.
Technically, it was Diana.
Diana just stands up like, we all took part, you all saw it.
Yeah, so who was the one who hit the landing blow? Diana.
It's
Last time
fine,
I
Dan, but
checked,
you're no longer allowed to take credit for it.
All I did was give him butterflies.
I just killed a few of the undead, like, the. I can't
Joke's on
speak
you,
right
I'm
now.
a tiefling, I'm already fucking cursed.
She's
Well, now-
shaking, saying
well,
that
now you're
she's,
just
like,
double
shaking.
cursed.
Big deal.
Double kill.
Diana's like saying this, and she's like visibly shaking. She's like, you know what?
So, all of you have a kind of tricky time having a proper sleep tonight.
Oh, Diana's gonna go sleep next to Simone.
Yeah, fair enough. He's Simone's like set up his little watch where he's kind of like sitting on part of the collapsed stone wall. He's just kind of sitting there up against it, sort of watching over the area around the place, and Diana kind of like lays down on the like behind him, like at the foot of the wall, and kind of cuddles up and gets some sleep because like his tail is kind of hanging down there, and she's like, "Yeah, this is good." And she's like uses that as a pillow and just like, so you all do get your sleep, knowing that Gunther's boot camp is in effect and making sure that everyone is, ready.
That doesn't stop the curse, though.
And all of you have nightmares
Oh God!
of wandering through the desert and setting up a camp in the desert, and then a big monster coming for you. All of
Question,
you
though.
have... Yeah?
Is Captain Ivan any of our dreams?
Oh yeah, he's chasing you through the desert the whole time.
But that's not a nightmare, though.
It's like a really weird sex dream.
That's not a nightmare. Captain is chasing you. That's not a nightmare.
Oh, it's not the normal. It's not the normal Captain Ivan. It's this big, deformed, monstrous, ghostly form of him that's chasing you through the desert. And you're in your underwear, and you're late for school, and you haven't done your homework.
Oh my god.
That big assignment is due today, and you're late, and you haven't done it, and you're running through the desert, and you're in your underwear. It's a horrible anxiety dream. And then, Diana, you just have like a pleasant dream of like just your typical shit, like you're being chased through the desert, like whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, this is normal. Like,
Whatever.
Just a nightmare, whatever. You've had worse. So you all wake up like, what the fuck? And Diana, you wake up like, this was a lovely sleep. All of you got your full night's rest. You didn't get like fucked up from it or anything,
Dave, let's have sex dreams out of this. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
After getting her things together and such, Lazara starts looking over the map of the area and says, "Okay, so we're coming up on the Evergreen Mountains. So if we want to get to Monastery as quick as possible, I'm going to say we should probably go right through Ilthind."
Wait, can you repeat that?
So we're coming up to the Evergreen Mountains. If we want to get to Monastery as quick as possible, I'm going to say we should go right through, go east through Ilthind.
So up this way along the coast, sort of a direct route.
Well, we also need to stop and Reprive at one point.
We
might as well. There's no rush to get to the monastery, though.
I need to get to Goldheim as soon as possible, and I don't want to waste too much.
Yeah, but
Face sweating. Eris is like, well, the less traveling, the better. To be honest.
Guys, no. I can't.
Why not?
Well, it's sort of a long story, and I just let's just say that I'm not really welcomed through there, and they don't want me there, and frankly I don't want to be there ever again. So say what you want, but I'm gonna go elsewhere. I'll just meet you up there, all right?
Lazara just gives her this like unamused look, and it's just like, "What did you do? Steal somebody's sweet roll?"
Oh my god.
No.
It's not like you killed someone.
Faye gets kind of really quiet. Like she doesn't really know how to respond to that.
Can we roll
Simon just
insight
kind
on
of like Simon just kind of like did you kill someone? Did you kill someone?
I'm sure it's something of the sort.
Can we roll insight on that?
Yeah, you can. Okay. What do you think they can glean from that?
What?
What do you think that they can glean from that? Probably that there was.
That
You guys can
something-
figure out, like, from this that there was a death involved.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't.
I understand that we need to rush over there. I know Lysara has to get to Goldheim and everything, but first of all, yes, that's my home, and God, I really wish I could go back. I really do, but that's not an option. It can never be an option for me ever again. I can't go back. I literally can't go back. And and she's like, face starting to get a little shaken. Like you can see her eyes kind of like start watering a bit and everything like that. And she's just like, I just, first of all, one thing you also need to know about Yathind is it's literally a village of racists. They'll take one look at Diana and Simone and Eris, and they'll make you turn back, regardless of like whether you go in there and just want to cut through. They'll take one look at like Diana and like the rest of you guys and just, and she's just like, she's really shaken and everything. She's like, I really just don't want to talk about it. I can't go through there. Just please understand when I say that I can't go through there.
I don't like race.
Like this dead serious moment. Diana's like, I hate racist.
Diana
Racism
chimes
is
in with a
bad.
racist is bad, okay? Racism is bad, okay? Okay, children?
Well, if it really is true that it wouldn't let us through, because there wouldn't be much point trying.
Yeah. I mean, if the sire really needs to go through, I mean, do the people in Elthine, are they a little more tolerant of half-elves, or are they just like straight up like only elven people?
Half elves are still part elven and are still welcome through there, yeah.
Yeah, so if Lysara needs to go through Elthine and everything, and she needs to get there as quick as she can, she'd be fine with it, but I personally cannot. I know Diana is going to have a hard time. Eris and Simone. It's just not a good option. And frankly, like I said, they don't want me back, and I don't really want to be back as much as I would really like to. But, and I think she's like starting to like break down a bit at this point. Like this is hitting hard. Like real hard.
Lysira looks, just closes the map in frustration and says, there's no point in me going through if I'm going to have to wait for you guys on the other side anyway." And she says, "All right, we're going to Shala-Tor."
Before like Lysira leaves and everything, Faye's gonna approach her and just like really quietly, she's just gonna say, "Thank you. I know this is hard and everything, but I it means a lot that even though you have to go through and everything, it means a lot that yeah. She's kind of like really kind of meek about this and everything.
Zyra just kind of glares at her for a moment and doesn't really say anything.
Okay.
So,
All right.
I guess we're going.
Did anyone else see like Lasila glare at like Faye?
Probably, yeah.
I'm pretty sure at this point everyone was paying attention to that whole conversation going on.
Yeah. So, if you guys are heading to Shala-Tor, it'll take you about a day to get there.
Okay.
Is that a town?
Yes. You know that Shala-Tor is a fairly small town. It also has the nickname of Shortyville because it is populated mostly by gnomes and halflings. In fact, almost entirely by gnomes and halflings.
Oh,
Oh my god.
we haven't really seen a lot of those. Like,
Do they have
only
tiny
a couple.
homes?
They do.
That's racist.
But it's true, they have tiny everything.
I was right!
They just see Simone walk in and they're like, oh.
He's gonna
I
have
don't know what to do about this guy, guys.
God.
But yes, it is a small town of gnomes and halflings, literally a small town. And yeah.
Yeah, we should.
They have a lot of inventors and scientists there.
Oh,
like
that's
they're-
gonna be interesting.
Lots of smart folks. But yes, so are you guys heading up that way?
Yeah,
Sounds
Alright.
like,
gonna
Yep.
urge everyone to like keep going because gonna get going and like maybe give Faye a little bit of space.
Yeah. Okay.
One person's mad and everyone's just really awkward about the whole situation.
Gunther would ask if she's okay, though.
She's just like kind of like she just kind of like just shakes her head just slightly like, yeah, it's no big deal, it's fine.
You
Obviously
think?
she's not fine, but I'm not
On
even
the-
I don't even think you need to roll insight on that. She's not fine.
Yeah.
On the way, Gunther would probably just play music because he can.
Oh god.
Okay. Gunther has a performance check to play his soothing music.
Oh, by
I'll
the
give
way,
you
by the way.
disadvantage because you are on
Oh.
horseback. So go on, Dad.
Before I forget again, I have in my inventory like this flute I looted from someone like a long time ago. I
Yeah, the
don't
same
need
time
it.
as the
I'm
loot.
Oh, that's why Nick was asking like what instrument, I'm
just-
assuming.
yeah. I'm gonna give that to Gunther.
Oh,
It's a
cool.
Alright.
I'll
The
take it.
flute.
Yep. So Gunther has a lute and a flute.
I have a flute now, so I'm gonna start learning that too at some point. I'll become a one-man
Terrific.
band!
Oh my God.
Gunther just like with a recorder on the road.
But
I
I'll
reckon
play
there'd
the
be
flute on-
probably maybe a minute and a half of that before someone breaks it over their knee.
Honestly, I'm gonna play the lute on the way, though.
Yeah. So you. All right.
At least it's
So-
soothing music.
Yeah.
Yes. So it is tricky to play on horseback as you're moving, but you give it a good go, and it turns out okay. You find that you're getting better at this sort of thing. As you progress toward Shala-Tor, you kind of have everyone giving Faye a bit of space, except for Eris, who's just like blissfully right beside her.
I mean, she's
Let's-
Faye's like trying her best to be like acting normal and everything, but yeah, probably doesn't
Yeah,
look
no.
good.
Eris is see right through that shit. She's just kind of like riding along with like that sort of smile.
Lazara's like all the way on the other side of the
group,
whole party. Like, yeah.
As far as possible, yeah. But Eris is kind of hanging around with Faye while everyone continues forth. And you're heading direct from the abandoned fortress to Shala-Tor?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So, as you arrive in the town, you find that the buildings are surprisingly tall, but they aren't like big buildings. These are more like multi-story apartments. That being said, all of the floors to these apartments are quite small. Like it's kind of like a Hobbiton situation where you'll have to like duck down through the doorways, that sort of thing. And sort of like stand slightly crouched inside the buildings to, just to stand in there, beware of chandeliers and the like. Yes, exactly. But yeah, that's essentially it.
Okay, saw it late.
Yeah, I was writing something in my notes so I wouldn't forget.
It's just
Easy
like I was like
working on
kind
his
of
journal.
As you approach the town, there are a few guards that sort of approached you, and you can see them armed with these little crossbows and small warhammers.
You can break me
And they're wearing.
Diana. Oh, how
She's just like, oh, it's adorable.
We're very sorry. Can I take one home, Simone, please?
We're a proud people, damn it. The perfect height to break a knee.
I mean, you got tiny hammers. Well, not
yeah.
tiny, but they have hammers, and you can do that. They're high enough.
No, they are small warhammers. Like all of their weapons are scaled down to their size.
Aww.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh.
Yeah. And they're wearing sort of leather armor and these goggles, like steampunky style goggles to protect their eyes. And they stand before you, and there's only a couple of them there, but one of them steps forward and is like, "Halt!" and tries to get you guys to stop.
I'm sorry.
Simon,
can I actually that reaction that I just did? That could be Faye. I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking about it, but just like that.
You just snicker.
You're gonna upset them.
Yeah. Eris stops because she's like following the rules and all that sort of thing, but Simon just kind of pats him on the head and keeps walking right by him.
Oh God!
He has to reach down pretty far to do it. He has to reach down pretty far to do it, but
Oh my God!
Gives him a little pat on the head.
I'm pretty sure that was.
You can see that Simon's hand can completely engulf this guy's head easily,
Oh my God!
like an apple.
Jesus Christ!
Pretty sure that was an order and not a suggestion.
I would
Yeah.
be shitting myself.
As you guys are walking through the town, you note that the roads here and the buildings are all like made of metal. Like rather than like cobblestone, these are all metal, like steel buildings, and the roads as well are steel. And
That cannot be good for living some desert.
as Simone is walking by onto this this roadway, you see a crossbow bolt sort of ping off of the metal road and skitter off to the sides, like right in front of him, stopping him in his tracks. And he looks up, and you can see on top of all of the buildings, there are these snipers, these same guards with their goggles and their little crossbows, but they're just sort of like ready and trained. On Simone.
You're making it super hard to take this seriously.
Lazira reaches down and pulls out her hand crossbow and says, "You've got a lot of nerve."
For someone
Everyone's all like, "Don't mind her. She's just a little cranky right now."
These guys are like little like, triggered. But no, the the guy that tried to stop Simon like quickly like pitters out like in front of him again and like puts up a hand, like now wielding his warhammer, and it's just like, "Halt, I'm warning you." And Simon just kind of sighs and turns around to the rest of you just to see like what you're gonna do.
So, problem.
He says, "Everyone entering the town is to follow the town's rules."
Man, we're not
Those
great
being
at following rules.
And, as I'm just warning you that there's no wielding of weapons or any use of magic or anything of that nature in this town.
Sorry, Eris.
You can feel Eris roll her eyes.
Like they just like physically go to the back of her head.
Yeah, she was following the rules until that time.
Yeah, like she rolls her eyes so hard that if she did it any harder, her retina would detach. Like
Lazira just glares at him for a moment and then just slowly puts her hand crossbow back in her bag.
Okay, and he very slowly puts away his warhammer in retaliation. But yeah, he says, "Well, make sure that you stick to the rules. We don't want to have to use force." And you can like, Simon is trying his hardest not to laugh. Like he's trying so hard not to laugh at these guys.
I was gonna say, I am.
They take themselves super seriously.
like watch us like all get to the room, like we're all like just like, "Oh, like it's no problem." And then as soon as like the doors close in our room, we're all like,
Just picture like Simone and Diana like standing next to each other, just like kind of like looking at each other, snickering a little.
trying really hard not to laugh.
Yeah. Fuck.
And the gnome straightens himself up and says, "Well, I'm Calfan Morgrave," and he extends a hand to Simon, the one that was so, forward moving past him and stuff. He thinks he's the leader of the group, it seems. And,
I mean, he's the bigger one.
Extends for a handshake, and Simon quite carefully reaches down with like his index finger and thumb and shakes his hand. His index finger and thumb are more than enough to like grab this guy's hand and give it a good shake. And he says, "So I'm the leader of the local militia and the town here. So if you need anything, do let me know."
Okay, thank you.
Sounds good.
The other guards kind of waddle off toward their respective posts, and he says, "Might I ask where you're coming from?"
Hell.
From
Oh my
passage.
god.
He hears Lazara say that and like looks at the tieflings in the party.
Oh my god. Not the only racist in this whole area, are they?
You can see like a look of concern like sort of reach across his face for like a few moments before he realizes that you're just joking. But yeah.
Listen, just because my great grandmother decided to fuck it on doesn't mean I came.
We can thank Aunt Susan for this.
God damn it, Susan.
So yeah, there's around the town there is a general store. There's an inn. There are a couple of inns actually.
I mean, does it really matter? Are we going to fit in any of them?
You'll have to find out.
Oh boy. I mean, Simone, if anyone's gonna have the hardest time. Poor guy.
Oh, you know what? I actually meant to ask that instant fortress that we have.
Mhm.
How big is it?
Yeah.
Is it big enough? Like could we potentially like spend the night inside like that?
Just like go out of town just slightly and then just get it.
I'm sure we could, honestly. I think it's big enough for that.
I remember it was pretty big.
I will get the link for it. I have it in my stuff.
If this works, can we furnish it?
I mean,
But I for some reason I highly doubt the furnishing will stay.
I mean, it's magic.
yeah, it just swings down and crushes it.
And then you reopen it, it's just
It's
there's
magic.
dust
You
everywhere.
don't know that.
I mean, we can test it out. We can just put a couch in it and like close it and reopen it.
Yeah.
Just see. I think bards get a spell for that sort of. Hang on a sec. Give me one moment, and I will look this up real quick.
Did Bard's get a spell to summon a couch or something? That's what it sounded like.
Not a couch.
That's what
No.
it sounded like.
No, I mean for like a they get like a little pocket dimension that they can have like their own little
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I
mansion
forgot the
in-
name of the spell.
I'm very sad that bars don't have conjure couch.
Your couch.
Is that something on homebrew? Because that'd be pretty great.
I mean,
You know, you say that, but I'm pretty sure when looking through homebrew spells one time, I found create chair.
I love this.
Oh yeah, I found it. It's
I like the Begone
Modern
Pot
Canaans.
spell I found.
Modern Canaan's magnificent mansion. Let's see, conjuration. Seventh level bard. Okay. Is this actually in the? Let me check. JK.
That is crazy. They can practically just summon like the Playwood Mansion or something.
Oh yeah, here it is. Seventh level conjuration. Yeah, no, it is actually like for real.
Was good.
Mansion,
was
like
good.
Hugh Hefner is in there as well.
I was about to say, is going through Hugh Hefner.
He's like, no.
Is there a spell summon Hugh Hefner? Is your
Oh my
familiar?
God. Can we
You have
just,
a
like,
wand
have
of
an
wonders.
NPC?
That's capable of many things.
Can we have an NPC that's just basically Hugh Hefner?
Don't we already?
Yeah, then
You
we
already
got
do.
that guy.
But I mean, like one that we can actually meet and talk to, though.
I'll give you a hint. You already do, and you already have. At
Oh.
least one of you already has. So yeah, no, Morton Canaan's Magnificent Mansion. That's a 7th level spell that bards can learn.
Damn.
Okay,
You also have Morton Canaan's Private Sanctum, which is a 4th level one that you can learn, but that's only like a little area. I mean,
Either way, it works.
it can be 100 feet on each side, so I mean, yeah, you can. That's enough of a pocket dimension to. Yeah.
What are you saying, Jake?
Anyway, sorry.
I'm just gonna write it.
I still want to use that.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
No, I don't.
Oh god.
I don't believe he. Like, I don't think we were told that. I think we were told that he
I
was
thought
just
he was
run
like,
out of town.
chased out. Yeah, he was just chased out of the village. Also, Hugh
True, but
Hefner
how long
was-
ago was that?
We
Not
don't
that
know,
long
so we don't know. So it's a 50-50. He could be still alive, or he can still be, or he
Well-
can still be dead.
Diana was able to recall the information, so I assume.
Oh, I do have that book though. I do have that book that was basically his journal, and I can always double check and see when, it like the last entry was
Like
for
the
him.
dates and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
I have that. I have his journal. I can read all of his dirty little stuff, although it's probably just she doesn't wanna.
Just give it to Lazira or Era, still like it.
Jesus.
I love it.
I really
Anyway.
want to use that fortress as a trap someday.
Oh my god.
Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
you can.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure anything that's inside of it when it gets mushed down is
No, as a
fucking
trap when
annihilated.
you deploy it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that too. It'll crush things.
I mean,
Um,
either way.
Let's see. Yeah, no,
Wouldn't wanna-
absolutely.
I don't really
Dexterity
want to.
saving throw or 10d10 bludgeoning damage and a failed save, potentially 100 damage.
I don't really want to paint the walls red inside.
Yeah, that'd be bad. What color scheme are we going through? Bandit.
Oh my god.
So
Theme of the week: bandits.
you guys are in the town now. What would you like to do? The sun is starting to set over the horizon.
Probably should find a place to stay. Are we going to do the Insta Fortress?
We can do that outside of town later, if anything.
Yeah. We
At least
Yeah.
to try it out.
should probably
no
look
harm in
around.
trying. Yeah.
So
It
we've
sounds
confirmed
like a
it's
really
big enough for all of
interesting-
us to sleep in?
Yeah, because if it's big
yeah,
enough, maybe we
it's,
won't. But it's not going to be big enough for Simone. I already know that.
I remember one thing. It is like in town. Oh, I thought you meant the.
Oh no, I'm in the fortress.
Oh, I
Oh,
do
the
remember
fortress
the
is-
fortress is 2 floors.
Yeah, and
Yep,
it's
Begin with.
20
It's
feet.
2
uh,
stories, 20 feet on a side, like 20 feet by 20 feet, and it's 30 foot high. And there's 2 floors to it.
And there's also a rooftop with a ladder and a trapdoor.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's enough room to. It'll be a pretty squishy sleep. Like you'll be pretty close together, but I mean, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Split amongst the floors.
Okay.
How long does it last? I think
Until
it
you
I don't
dismiss
think
it.
It just it's just for as long as you.
It's
Oh.
only it's until
The
you
cube
dismiss
rapidly
it.
grows into a fortress that remains until you use an action to speak the command word that dismisses it, which only works if the fortress is empty.
So you
if
can't
there's
trap people
anyone or
inside.
anything. Yeah, if there's anyone or anything still inside, it won't shrink.
Oh, so you can't furnish it.
No.
I actually have one more thing we should maybe consider.
Yes.
Mm.
all of these gnomes and halflings are clearly very jumpy. How are they going to feel about us just making a fortress right outside of town?
You make a valid point.
Look,
Yeah,
if
that
we're
is a
outside
very
of
good
town, they
point.
can't say anything about it.
At the same time, do you really want to wake up to the fortress being surrounded by a bunch of angry gnomes and halflings?
Yes.
We can put up a
Yes.
banner that says we are not enemies.
It would be kind of cute.
It'd be pretty funny.
We can always put up a banner that says we're not enemies.
I don't think
I mean-
that's like literally going into like, okay, that's like going into like a freaking like kindergarten, like with a knife and being like, I'm not a murderer. Like, I'm not a child murderer. Like, Jesus Christ.
Like arming teachers with weapons and being like, "Hey, I'm here to protect you."
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
hold
that's
on.
fair. So
Oh,
we're in
man,
town
okay.
and there's still stuff we can do, right?
Yes.
What kind of stores?
Wait
Stores
till
and
Chris
the
gets back.
still open.
Yeah, Pris she'll be back. She's, yeah.
Oh, good. What kind of stores are there here?
There is a general store. There are weapon shops, but like not really any that you could make much use of.
They're too
Um,
tiny.
They're too
Yep.
small.
Sorry.
There's there is a museum here in town. Let's see what else is here. It's like a museum of inventions where they keep like the prototypes of many of their inventions they've had over the years.
That's another thing I have would be
Tiny
of value to
invention.
them.
Yeah. There is like a central like trade house that's like a hub for people that are trading goods back and forth amongst each other. Like a strange marketplace in a way.
Okay.
But there is also like a general store that instead of trading goods for goods, they trade for gold. So
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see anything. Oh, well, I mean, I actually could take a look at the general store. Maybe there's something interesting there.
it's true.
Sometimes general stores can just surprise you a bit.
Yeah.
Though I really don't expect to find anything magical. Not if they prohibit magic in town.
Yeah.
Most of the party is made of magic.
Most everyone's side eye is Faye.
No, she can still do
Also
magic.
Simone. Oh yeah, never mind.
You're-
Wait, does Simone do magic?
I was talking about Faye
No.
because fire, like your secret fire thing.
Oh right.
That's
I
magic.
mean, I also can heal. I can also heal now, but
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah. Just don't do magic in the same sense that you guys do magic.
Yeah, Gunther. It's funny because Gunther barely has anything that does damage.
Everyone does like Eldritch Splash and like you know like all those other cool ones. And Faye's like, "Hey guys, check this out!" She like has like a tiny ass flame in her hand. Like, guys, look. She's so proud.
In total, Gunther has 4 spells that deal damage. Out of all the spells he has. But it's good because it's what he's for. How about I spam that vicious mockery some more?
The Zyra has 6 and one that increases damage of everything else she does.
Oh god. You're basically the glass cannon.
I have one.
It's okay, you support us with healing energy.
Oh no, never mind. I have 2.
Oh.
Wait, does this one? Does this one? Yes, it is. Yes, I do have. I have 2. I haven't
Okay.
used it yet, but I think it's because like we haven't really had a lot of time to fight since we leveled up, so definitely have to use it next battle.
I keep a whole list of spells I have and how many times I've used each. And I'm actually only keeping that list for spells I use less. So which ones I might replace with something else next level.
I will be right back as well, guys. I'm going to use the restroom real quick since
In
everyone
fact,
is
I think
gone.
this might be a decent point to go and, like, I'll go do my lunch and stuff.
Yeah.
All right,
I'll
sounds
stop the
good.
Have a little
recording.
break.
Just
All right.
edit out the part where I say I have to use the restroom.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna.